All right, it was another monumental day here at the 49ers practice facility. We've got a couple of those in a row at this point, but Ricky Pearsall, who was shot in the chest on Saturday, was back out on the 49ers practice field today. No, he's not practicing. He's on a non-football injury list. He's going to have to be there at least 4 weeks. But Ricky Pearsall is chomping at the bit to get back out onto the field with his teammates in uniform. I mean, this is nothing short of miraculous. Kyle Shanahan spoke today, and he said that the emergency room people told him that 2 out of 100 people survive a gunshot wound near the area where Ricky Pearsall took the bullet on Saturday, which is on his chest. Kyle Shanahan mentioned that there's a tattoo that Ricky Pearsall has, and there are 2 hands pressed together praying in that spot of the chest, and the bullet entered Ricky Pearsall's chest 2 inches under that tattoo. Yet he not only survived, but he walked to the ambulance, and he was able to be in the weight room less than 48 hours later, and now he's literally standing out on the practice field, chomping at the bit to get out there. Shanahan said that shortly after the shooting, Ricky Pearsall said, "I still think I could play against the Jets." Unfortunately, Ricky Pearsall is not going to play against the Jets because the 49ers put him on NFI, but this is nothing short of miraculous. Shanahan telling his side of the story. He was hosting the party for the players that night. Remember, Pearsall told John Lynch that he wanted the party to go on, so Shanahan remained in the South Bay. But just listening to Shanahan talk about it, listening to some of the players talk about it, some of the players were asking me about the court session that I was at yesterday involving the suspect and now the defendant who's been charged with attempted murder on top of attempted robbery. Just the way that the 49ers have approached this. The team itself has said all the right things, but you can also sense that this was a galvanizing moment for San Francisco. And it just so happened to be sandwiched in between the Brandon Aiyuk contract signing and the Trent Williams contract signing. So it was just a flurry, a whirlwind this weekend. And today, for the first time, we got to see the 49ers practice really in full. There was only a 5-minute viewing window on Tuesday. Today was the first full Jets week practice. And Kyle Shanahan named the captains for this practice. So the 8 49ers captains for this 2024 season are Nick Bosa, Fred Warner, Brock Purdy, Christian McCaffrey, Deebo Samuel, Kyle Juszczyk, George Kittle, and Trent Williams. Last year, Nick Bosa was not a captain because last year, Nick Bosa, I think he signed on this day last year. It was Thursday of last season. Might have been Wednesday, but it was after the captain's vote, which I believe happened on Tuesday. So the only thing that prevented Nick Bosa from being a captain last year was the fact that he wasn't there for the captain's vote. Trent Williams got into this building in time for the captain's vote this season. And the 49ers, I mean, what a star-studded group that is going to represent the 49ers with the C on their jersey this year. We got a tour of Levi Stadium today. I'm going to get into that in a little bit. They have some new suites at Levi Stadium, so you're going to get to see the look at the new suites, and they'll ultimately replace all the suites with the new decorations and new design once the entire renovation is complete. Remember, this is the 10th year of Levi Stadium, but we also got to take a look at the new food that they're going to be offering at Levi's this year. So stay tuned for that. First, we got to take a look at Trent Williams out at practice. I think he's looking in good shape. Remember, when we talked to Trent on Tuesday, he said that he actually started his training regimen this offseason earlier than at any other point of his career. So he seems freshly motivated to go out there and dominate this season. He wants to be the dominant tackle at age, this year would be 36, but he wants to be doing it at 38, 39, 40. He mentioned winning Super Bowls at 41 and 42. And just at first look, it looks like Trent Williams is ready to do that. Brandon Aiyuk also fully on the practice field. We didn't get to see it on Tuesday because the viewing window was only 5 minutes. Today was much longer. Brandon Aiyuk was out there with the 49ers receivers. He was moving well. I think that Brandon Aiyuk might have put on a little bit of muscle since last year. I noticed that even during the hold-in when he was standing on the sideline here at practice. And then it was Ricky Pearsall, of course, that wandered over to check out what the receivers are doing because Pearsall definitely wants to get out there. We'll play some video of Kyle Shanahan at the very end of this talking about the Ricky Pearsall incident, the fact that the bullet went 2 inches between the hands that were pressed together praying. It definitely seems like a miraculous instance for the 49ers, given the fact that Kyle Shanahan heard that only 2 out of 100 people survive the type of gunshot wound that Ricky Pearsall was indeed able to survive on Saturday. First, though, why don't we take a look at the tour of the new stadium? First, a look at some of the food at Levi Stadium. The burger in particular was really, really good. But we have a little bit of a walkthrough of the food that you can take a look at now, and a special appearance from Chuck's Flavor Train. He's got some awesome content. You guys need to check out Chuck's Flavor Train. He was here, and I said, hey, I got to record a little bit of something with you. So have to help support some of those 49ers fans who are doing big things, and Chuck's Flavor Train is taking off online. Have a look at it.
Today was amazing. As you can see, I'm protruding. I ate like a beast, and I'm ready to feast some more. I got a platter full of food back there, and I'm going to go back to work. I get a little rowdy, not just me. There's a table full of my constituents back here. We all like to have fun, celebrate the 49ers. There we go. That's what it's about. So, we like to have fun out here, and there's no better place to do it than Levi Stadium.
And after I was done with the sweets and with the new food, Nick Wolf with the 49ers showed me the frictionless beer purchasing station. This is on the main concourse level of Levi Stadium, and it was really neat.
Yeah, so the industry's starting to change quite a bit now, and what we wanted to do here is to start to take bits and pieces of the frictionless environment that you might see at other stadiums and arenas in the country right now actually getting deployed. Intuit's a great example. They have a whole stadium that's frictionless, and so it's just this building being now 11 years old, gives us an opportunity to really go and say, okay, what do we want the next generation of Levi Stadium to be? And so you'll see this piece of this piece of frictionless real estate here, and then you'll see around the corner we did 2 different concepts. One is just a beer grab and go concept, and then we have one that's in a kind of a brick and mortar concession stand where you would have items that you could go pick up that are hot and cold items as well. And so we'll run this for the next 2 years, potentially, maybe a little bit less, and then make a decision on how many more of these we would want to add in the building. This has changed almost the way you wait in lines, and if so, anybody that's been at Levi Stadium or any large stadiums in the last 5 to 10 years, you wait in lines almost anywhere. And this shrunk a line from 3 minutes down to 30 seconds. And so that gave us a first indication that we were onto something.
And finally, a quick injury report for the 49ers. They finally had to release the injury list. And the only 2 players on active roster who did not practice today were the defensive lineman Yetur Gross-Matos and the linebacker D. Winters. Gross-Matos with the knee injury, Winters with the ankle injury. Both of those guys were working on the side field, pushing some heavy sleds. So I suppose there's a chance they're back Monday against the Jets, but I think it's probably more likely they're going to be back week 2 for the 49ers. It's a road trip to Minnesota. Limited in practice today, and now we have official injury designations. It's Christian McCaffrey, Juwan Jennings, Isaac Guerendo, and Talanoa Hufanga. By the way, got some footage of Hufanga too. He seems to be moving okay for San Francisco. I think he's going to be listed as questionable or this week, maybe even doubtful for the 49ers this week. But he is working back for San Francisco off the torn ACL. McCaffrey's listed officially with a calf and an Achilles. It's nothing to worry extra about right now. That's been the injury the whole time. The calf and the Achilles, obviously, very closely related. But now that the 49ers have to list these injuries fully, they didn't have to before week 1. They put the word Achilles on there, but don't be scared just because they tossed the word Achilles onto there. It's the same issue that Christian McCaffrey was resting throughout most of August. Juwan Jennings with an ankle, and then there is Guerendo with the groin, and Hufanga obviously coming off of the knee injury, the ACL. Anyway, as promised, here's Kyle Shanahan in full on Ricky Pearsall.
It's kind of been amazing just watching him. I'm getting to see him Sunday, Monday, for him to be able to walk around and stuff with that happening. Talking to the people at the ER, saying out of like 100 people, 2 people have survived that. And to be able to see him the next day and just that he's able to walk, he's coming to meetings, he's doing all that. But, he wants to go a while, a week or so without trying to work up a sweat. And then after that, he'll start his rehab and progress again back.
What was that like for you on Saturday, Kyle, when you found out and kind of
It was really tough. We didn't know exactly, we just knew that he got shot, and that was all we knew. And then it took us about an hour to figure out what the hospital was and things like that, because he just made a couple calls to people, so we had it from them, but none of us knew where he was or anything. And this was, it's like at 3:30. By the time that we got to him, it was good, because by the time we found out where he was, we got to him. It was real cool. He FaceTimed me. That was like the first time I knew he was all right. I got a call like 20 minutes before that saying he was conscious, he was talking, that he was going to survive and all that. But then he FaceTimed me right after from his bed. It was real upbeat. Like it was really amazing, because that hour, when you hear about a shooting, we didn't know where it was or anything. So you just assume the worst. Then to hear it was in the chest, you don't think that usually goes that well. Then actually to talk to him like 15 minutes after that and just talk to a guy that seems like he's okay. Obviously, he's got a bad, horrible injury, and there's a huge mental side that'll go to that he's got to work through for a while. But it was a lot of emotions.
Are you letting him be as involved as he wants to be at this point? And obviously with the advice of medical staff and whatnot, but if he wants to be around the team.
Oh yeah, of course. I think it's I think when anyone goes through something like that, everyone cares about them so much. But it's, I told the team, like, everyone wants to show them they care. And so what do you do when you go up to someone, you ask them how it happened and stuff. And it's a pretty traumatizing story. I told the team we don't want to make him relive that 80 times. So he knows how much everyone cares about him. He loves being around. It's all up to him with that stuff. But everyone's trying to give him space in that way and just let him work through this process, because, the physical thing's one thing, but it's a pretty big mental toll on someone too.
John mentioned that one of the first things that Ricky said to him was, the party should go on. What were you going through in your mind about whether that was appropriate or not?
We always, if anyone knows us, we would never do something inappropriate. So we care about our teammates more than anyone. You'd have to be on a team to understand that, first of all. But yeah, we were definitely into that. Like, we thought we were assuming the worst for a while. It happened about 2 hours before it. And so John went down there. I'm waiting to get the call to see what the deal is. And then when Ricky called me, and he was totally fine, and the things he said, and being on FaceTime, then it felt really good to get everyone over. It was actually a really cool opportunity. Got the whole team together, got a TV out there for everyone to see, and then he got a FaceTime with the whole team, and just let everyone kind of know, or let everyone feel kind of how he made me feel when I spoke with them.
Feel the mood of the party change once?
Yeah, once everyone walked in, no one knew the exact story, so I was able to reassure everybody as soon as they got there that he was totally fine, and it's a miracle. Where he got shot is like 2 inches below his tattoo with praying hands. Like, it was, it's kind of, the whole story is kind of amazing. But to tell everyone as soon as they get in, you can't call a whole team, but to tell everyone right when they got there, it was really cool. And then about 2 hours later, Ricky got on and talked to everybody.
Say about a guy like Ricky Pearsall? You see him walking himself to the ambulance. He's just gotten shot. You see him trying to say the party goes on. He's talking to you guys. And then, like you said, he was here the other day. Just to go through all of that, Trent Williams even saying he has never had a teammate be shot, but to be present. What does it say about your first draft pick?
We've been so impressed with Ricky, with everything he's done prior to this. And for this to happen, and just kind of to hear kind of what his girlfriend, what his parents went through, even talking to Ricky, like, when it happens, he doesn't know until he actually gets to the hospital and talks to doctors and stuff that he's going to be all right. So for him to have to go through that shock and the anxiety and the panic of not knowing whether you're going to live or die, and then just, I saw the video that everyone saw him just walking through, but at that time he has no idea he's going to be all right. He's the toughest person I know, just going through a situation like that. We always felt this way watching him on the football field and things like that, but kind of to watch how he handled that situation and watch how he's been every day since, it's been, it shows how special of a guy he is.
You mentioned the mental part is obviously a tremendous part of that, and how important is it for the team to make sure Ricky doesn't rush through that, and sometimes with trauma that can happen?
I think that's big. Especially I think each day the mental part becomes more a big deal. The adrenaline and just surviving that, and Ricky's saying stuff, at first that doesn't matter. Like, I still think I could play versus the Jets. Like those are the things he's talking about. And it's just like, dude, what are you talking about? Like, there's other things, but the adrenaline of all that. And then I think each day, like, just to actually relive that, and what his family had to go through for a couple hours. Just flying out here, not totally knowing what the deal was going to be. I think that stuff for him or anybody, it's when that adrenaline goes away, that becomes a much bigger deal. And that's kind of what I mean by everyone kind of respecting that because we'd all be the same and trying not to make them relive it as much as possible. But it's a really an unbelievable story.
Coach, how have you addressed this with the team to make sure they're in the right mental state moving forward? What's ahead?
The way I just said. I mean, it's more about the respect of Ricky and stuff. I think our team was pretty good once we found out how all right he was. Everyone, just like when people hear someone get shot, you never think that's going to just be all right. You assume pretty dark things, but we had to go through a couple hours of that, but that ended pretty fast. And then it was more about just getting to see Ricky and making sure he's all right, and the guys have been great with that, as always.
All right, that's your 49ers update for today. Enjoy the season opener tonight, the Chiefs and the Ravens, and we're going to have some fun with a live right after. So set the notification bell for that because it is coming after Chiefs Ravens tonight.